Hello everyone, and welcome to Retro Brick Reviews, where today I will be showing you how to build my alternate build for LEGO Harry Potter's number 75955 Hogwarts Express. This build being the Magic School Bus, as I am calling it, basically just a London double-decker bus. And this is part 1, where I'll be showing off how to build the bus itself. In part 2, which will be coming out soon after this video, I'll be showing how to build the two side buildings. But yeah, so let's start with how to build the bus itself, starting with the base. So here are all the parts you're going to need to build the base of the bus. We'll start with this 6x8 plate, where at the front we will attach this 1x6 and 1x2 in light bluish gray to create a nice 1x8 area. Then we'll take this 2x6 and this 4x6 modified piece that's missing most of the studs in the middle, creating a nice smooth surface. Then we'll take two more of those and put them as such. Then we will attach this 6x12 under here to create a much larger surface. We'll put on a fourth one of these, another 2x6, and then here we will take a modified 1x2 in black with a centered clip, a couple of black studs, and a couple of light bluish gray standard 1x2 plates. And then underneath of each of those plates at the corners, we will put a standard red 1x1 plate. Okay, and we will leave this upside down because the next step is going to sort of have us be building the undercarriage of the bus. So here's everything you're going to need for the undercarriage. We'll start with this 2x4 black brick, which will go here at the sort of intermediary between the two plates. Then up at what will become the front, we will put on this red 1x8 brick, and at the back we will put a black 1x8 brick. Then we will have two of these Technic modified bricks, this one long one, which is a 1x12, and then these two 1x6s up towards the back. We'll be attaching the wheels into these later. And then under here on these exposed 1x6 areas, we'll be creating a couple of mirrored builds. So we'll take a 1x6, a 1x4 brick, a 1x2 modified brick, and a 1x2 grill plate. We will put that here, and then we will make the reverse over on the other side. So yes, that is the full base of the model. So now let's start to add some of the walls to it. Walls are cool, right? So here are all of the parts you're going to need for the next step. To start with, we'll take these 1x4s with a Hogwarts sticker on each side, and we'll put them on the centers of each of these extruding areas. So you have there, and then on the sides of those, we'll just put some 1x1 bricks. Then up here at the front, we will put these modified, these 1x2 anti-slope bricks. And then at the back, on these 1x2s, we will put on some red 1x2s. And then in front of those, we will put on some red 1x8s with a couple of these modified 1x2, these pieces, like panel pieces, blah. So a couple of those that are facing inward, so don't want to do that wrong as I just did. And then a couple of 1x1 bricks on top. Okay, next step. Okay, so we're going to take one of these 1x2 by 1 2/3 bricks with a red jumper on top. Put that here. Then we're going to take two more of these bricks connected with this window piece, and then we're going to insert this glass piece into it and top it off with a 1x6 tile, and that will go here. Then in here we will take a 1x6 brick with a 1x3 tile on top. Okay. Next, we'll be building up the front of the bus. So we'll start with this 1x6 plate, this 1x4 plate with just 2 studs, and a couple of these 1x2 by 2/3 curved pieces, and that will just attach on right here. Then for the grill, we'll take a 2x4 and then just some grill pieces on that. Attach that here. And then we will take a 1x3 with a round and a clip facing this away, and a 1x6, and then another version of that same assembly. This 1x4 tile with King's Cross stickered on it, which sort of forms a license plate, is where it's placed, although it could also be a destination board if you want to be a bit more realistic. A couple 1x2s underneath. Then connect these with this 6-long bar piece. And then just attach a couple of these sort of 1 brick tall sloped tile-y pieces. And then you can just attach all of this onto the front. And now the front of the bus is complete. Coolio. Okay, so next step, we'll take a 1x6 brick and put it here. Then we will take a couple of these 1x2 bricks with these 1x2 window insert pieces. And then we will put on those on a 1x3 and a 1x1. Then a pair of 2x2s. That is just to create a nice surface of 2x2s, and we will attach, well, a 1x4 surface blend, and we will just attach that here. Then we will then take this piece with this bar piece and put a couple of 1x1s atop that, and that will go here facing inward, and you can push the bar down to the floor. Then you will use this corner tile, 1x2, and a 1x1. Okay? Here are all the pieces we're going to need for the next layer of the bus, which just adds a bit of a rim to the edge. So we're going to take this 1x8 with the slide bit attached, and we're going to put one of those on each side. Behind those on each side, we're going to put a couple of these modified 1x2s in black. And going from there to the back, we'll do a couple of those in black. And then over here, we will put just a single 1x2 plate right in this gap here. Okay? Okay, now we'll start constructing the main walls. So here's everything we'll need to construct the right side of the bus. So we'll start with a 1x10 plate in red, and on that we will put on a couple of these red windows with the inserts already in, and then one of these 1x4x2 panel pieces with a 1x4 brick on top, then another one of these 1x10s with this special Hogwarts Express 1x6 here. And I just realized that I actually did this wrong. These are supposed to be offset by 1. I'm dumb. Anyway, so we'll do this like that. Then this modified 1x1x3 brick goes here. And then this piece at the end attaches onto that. We will attach this flag piece to the top of that, or at least I'm using it as a flag for sort of the destination. Then up here, we will put a couple of 1x6 tiles, and then at the back here, just a 1x2 tile, and we will connect all of that on. Okay, now for the other side. The build of the second wall is very similar, so we'll start with another 1x10 with this other stickered piece, another one of these with another pole at the back, then this panel piece and a brick, and then this piece with a window, and this is where things change up, where instead of having a second window, we'll have this curved piece to create a bit of that sort of asymmetrical hood shape that London buses have. And under here, we will put on a 1x2 plate. And then up top, we will use a 1x8 tile instead of a pair of 1x6s, since we don't have enough space, as much space to cover. And then just a 1x2. And that will just attach onto here as such. So that is all the exterior of this first layer, and all that's left before we move on to the second deck of the bus is the interior items. So for our first half of the interior design, here are all the parts we're going to need, and these 6 over here you're going to duplicate since you're building 2 of that. But to start with, we'll take a 2x3, a couple of these modified 1x2s in sand blue to create the back of the driver's seat, then a 1x1 brown tile, this modified 1x2, and this is also 1x2, so I don't know why I said 1x1, and then one of these modified 1x2 plates to create an armrest. Then for the steering area, in quotes, we'll take a couple of 1x2s, sandwiching this modified 1x2 pillarish brick, and then on top of that, we'll just put a couple of gauges, since the set didn't include a steering wheel. If you have a steering wheel in your own collection, you could just use that instead of this build, but I wanted to be just exclusively what was in the set. And then for these chairs, which again you build 2, you take this piece, a modified 1x2 with bars, modified 1x2 with clips, a 2x2 tile, modified 1x2 with the slide, and then a 1x2 grate piece. And for the interior of the bus, this piece will go in here, just right there, sandwiched in the corner, and the seat will go right behind that. And then each of these seats will attach in right in here. You can see. Okay. And if you want to, we can just attach our minifigures to be sitting in there now. So they have some nice window space. And then up at the front is where I've designated the Trolley Witch to sit, since she's the closest thing the Hogwarts Express came to a driver, as she's the only sort of personnel we got on it. I knocked this off because I'm dumb. But yes, now let's build the second half of the interior stuff for this first floor. Okay, so starting on the left, we'll take a 2x3 and a couple of 1x1s with clips on the top, and a couple of these relatively recent 1x1s, a 2x2 plate, actually a tile, don't listen to me, it's a tile, and then one of these. Okay, then moving over to the right, we'll take a 2x4 with a 1x2 with a clip on the back, then a 1x4 brick, 1x2 plate, 1x2 plate, and then a couple of these pieces. And then we'll attach this to this clip at the back, and to better secure that, we will just attach a 2x4 tile, and we'll fold this up for the time being. Then on these studs here in the middle, we will attach on this seat. Then we have these couple of open spaces here, and that is where we will put in our suitcases for little luggage areas. Okay, so that is it for the first deck of the bus. Now let's move on to the second deck. Okay, so here are all of the parts you're going to need to start the second deck of the bus. I know the language, trust me on this one. Okay, so to start with, we'll take a 6x6, with this 4x12 plate at the bottom. Attach on another one of those, along with a 1x6 and a 1x4. Then here we will put on a 1x6 on the bottom with a 2x12 and a 2x6. Okay. And that just fits snugly on top of here, or at least it will when we're finished. I mean, it does now, but you know what I mean. It will still when we're finished. Okay, moving on. Okay, so for the next layer of floor, we will start here at the back with a 1x4 and a 1x2, and on this side just 3 1x2s because of limited parts in the set, so sometimes you gotta split them up. Then here we'll take a 2x2, and then here a 1x2 and a modified 1x2. Then here we'll have this 4x6, and this 4x6, and then this 1x6. And then here at the back, that breaks off. Sorry, this little bit here isn't super sturdy at the moment. Anyway, a couple of 1x2 grills, and a couple of 1x2 jumpers. Don't worry, this will get more stable when it's finished. And, in fact, it's about to get a lot more stable right now. So this next step is super simple. We're just going to take this 1x2 sloped piece, and then this 1x however many long, which just goes all the way to the back. And we're doing that on both sides. There you go. Okay, next thing. So this next step is one we're going to build 2 of. So we will take a couple of 1x10s in black, connected by a 1x2 bracket piece. And then we will take a couple of these bracket pieces as well. And then on each side we will put a 1x6 in dark tan, which looks golden. And then a couple of 1x1s to just finish up the gold stripe. Then on each of these we will put on a 2x2 tile. Then here a 1x2 jumper. And this awesome curved Hogwarts Castle printed tile. I still love that that's printed. Anyway, so, and then this is a bit long, but we will fill in the space at the back later, and we will just attach them onto each side as such. Okay. You know, while we're here, we might as well just fill in that bottom space. So to start with, on each side, we'll take one of these modified 1x2s with the Technic piece in red, followed by a couple of jumpers in 2x2 in black. And these are sort of helping it to connect to the main model. These are the only stud connections on the whole thing. Specifically these two red pieces. The blacks are just there to take up space. And then on each side, we will take one of these slidey pieces with black stud, and this 1x2 with a clip. And we will make one of those on each side. And then in that gap there, we will put in one of these Technic bricks, so you can't see the hole, just representing a 1x1 in this case. And then we'll take these two red clips and we will just affix those pointing towards the back to create a nice extra bit of detailing. And then on these open clips, we will attach on these red bars for some nice piping. And you do want to attach those as close to the edge as possible, as close as you're comfortable with, since they do get a bit unstable at this point. But yeah. So there's that. Okay, now we'll start building up the front of the model. So we'll start with this 2x6 brick, topped with a 2x6 plate, then this piece in gold, and a gray. And then we will, at the front with the gold, we will put on 4 of these double cheese slopes in red. Then here in the back, we will put on a couple of great pieces and a couple of jumpers. And this will just sit here as such, and didn't bring it in because I'm dumb. But it's also really simple, so you can literally just grab the parts right now. It's 2, just a 1x6 brick in dark gray with a tan 1x6 tile. That plate, again, hate mixing up tiles and plates, just stick that here. And then on top of that, we'll attach on a couple of these windows with the inserts, but the inserts are not going to be straight. We're actually going to angle them so they go in between the cheese slope and the jumper stud to create a bit of sloping to that, which I think looks kind of cool. Definitely a bit reality breaking, but I think overall the effect works well. And then just a 1x8 tile on top. Okay. So next up, we're going to have a pair of builds that are effectively symmetrical, even if they do use some different designs to get there. To start with, we will take one of these panel pieces with a 1x4 plate, a modified 1x4 plate with only 2 studs, and a 1x4 plate. Set that here. And then for the other side, we will take one of these, but instead of plates, we will use 4 1x1 bricks. Obviously, both of these are just to substitute for the lack of a red 1x4 brick at this point in construction. So that here. Then on each side, we'll put on a red window with a pane in it. You get it by this point. All the windows have their panes in. And then on top of each of these, we can attach on a 1x6 tile, as this is already completed up to this point. And then on this side, we will put a 1x1 brick and a 1x8 brick. And then on the other side, we will put 3 1x1 bricks and a 1x6 brick. So that is that. Obviously, the back section is not done, but I wanted to split this up into a couple of sections, as things do get a bit hairy in this next bit. Well, not this bit, but the bit after. So for this bit, you're going to make 2 of these, or well, a mirrored version, technically. So you will take a 1x1 brick with a modified 1x1 in light gray with this bar. It's focused now, that's good. And then again, this part gets mirrored, so what we're going to do here is a 1x1, clip atop a 1x2, then a 1x1 brick, one of these, and a 1x1 plate. And again, you mirror that. So then at the back, this goes here with this here, and then this goes here with this here. Okay. To finish up this side, we'll take a 1x2 brick with a jumper on top and bottom and put that here in the middle. And here at the front, we will take a 1x2 by 1 2/3 brick with studs and a 2x3 tile, and that will go in here. And then we will take this with a great piece and a 1x2 plate. The color doesn't matter because it's basically hidden. I just chose gray because it's the most matching. Then we'll take this stickered curved piece up at the front with a black jumper at the back and a modified 1x2. And that just goes on like here. On top of all of that, we will put a 1x6 tile with a 1x6 plate with a 1x3 tile and a 1x2 tile. So there's a 1 stud gap there. The other side is similar, but just because of all of the part substitutions I was having to make by this point in the build, it ends up looking essentially the same, but the parts I used were different, so I'll just show you separately. So the other side, we're going to take a 1x6 plate, and under that we're going to put on 3 of these pieces, and then at the top we can put on the same 1x3 and 1x2. Then here we're going to put a couple of 1x3 tiles, here a 2x2 plate, then the same pieces as last time. So again, nothing too complex, and that just goes on as such. I realized I put both of these a bit off, and this just fits into the gap here. 1x3, 1x2. Okay, so you still have the gaps, which are about to be filled in right about now. So for the back of the bus, we'll take this faux door piece, really just a big window, with this 1x6 on top. And underneath of this side, we'll put on a couple of 1x2x2 bricks in dark gray. Then this 2 studded piece here with a couple of 1x1 tiles. And that will just slot into place right here. And it just will go down and attach to the studs if it wants to do that. There we go. Okay, so that is the full exterior. So now let's finish this deck up now, shall we? Here are the parts we'll need to finish up the second deck. To start with, we'll make a couple of seats. 2 to be precise, that's why I said a couple. I'm dumb anyway, and we're going to have them be mirrored. So we're going to take this 2x2 round, this modified 1x2 with a clip, and a standard 1x2, and this modified 1x2, a tile, and this, and again, you mirror it, so you have 2 that are opposite. Then for this table, we'll take a couple of these 1x2s with the ridges, then a modified 1x2 with that sticking out, 2x4, then do the same for the other side. And then on here we will put on a trans yellow 1x1 cylinder, and this gunmetal stud to create a little drink bottle. Then for a set of steps leading up to the top floor, we will take a 2x2 with a modified 1x2, modified 1x2 with a clip attached to this, which will also have this 1x2 at the end. We will just put on a couple, not a couple, 4 of these double cheese slopes in red. This will just attach onto here at the back. This table will go in right here, and these seats will just go in behind that, 1 on each side. If you want to, we can start adding the stuff onto the model now, like minifigures and junk. So again, if you're going by my display, we will put Lupin sitting in this seat if he wants to, which he currently does not, but there he goes. Then we'll take Ron sitting in here. We can attach scabbers onto this open jumper stud here, and I just realized that I put this piece in backwards. I'm the guy who designed the model, and I messed up building it. If you've watched my tutorials before, you know that this is nothing new, but it's just equally dumb every time. Things are flying everywhere. Okay, now that we're here, we can attach scabbers onto the jumper. Then we have these clips at the sides, which are for wands, so we will just attach Harry and Hermione's onto here. Then as for Ron and Lupin's wands, if you didn't see my review, just slot those into the holes between the plate and the bar. You have a little hole gap there, and the wands fit pretty perfectly into there. So yeah, so the very last thing we have to do is now we can connect this onto the first deck, and it just snaps on with a couple of stud connections, as I mentioned prior. Now all we have to do is attach on the roof and the wheels. So for the roof, we will start with one of these 6x8s in red. We will put on this 2x4 sloped piece in red, a couple of 1x2 jumpers, and then a couple of these 1x4 double curved pieces. A couple more of these 2x4 curves. The overlapping studs connect this onto this other 6x8, where we have a couple of these in black, with at the back a 1x6, a pair of 1x2 tiles, and a couple of these pieces in black, and that just snaps right on top here. And the very last thing we have to do is attach the wheels, which are just these train wheels included in the set with a Technic axle pin. And you just attach those where they fit into these Technic holes from the very beginning. Things are sliding around in there because I flipped it over, but that's okay. Obviously, you can attach these with more finesse than I am. I'm just a dumb idiot. Just drop that in there. Yep, that is the bus fully complete. I'm going to keep a hold on it so it doesn't roll off my table and fall into the ground and explode, as that would be unfortunate. Just realized I never fully pushed that down. But yeah, so that is the end of this first half of this build video. The second half, which will be the 2 side builds, will be coming up shortly, so stay tuned for that. And thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you all in the next one I make. Goodbye, everyone.